Jordan. This speech is for our business class, business communication and speech, and this is for the information gathering assignment that we had last week. And my assignment, the person I chose to interview, was the head pastor, Apostle Latanya Marie Turner of Pure in Heart Deliverance and Outreach Ministries International Incorporated. It was very informational. I found a few facts that I didn't know myself personally, and I'm going to share that within the time frame that we have. And again, for those who didn't know, Apostle, her occupation is twofold. She's actually a social worker, and she's a pastor, and soon in the year 2012, she will be pastoring full-time, and I know she's very excited about that. We spoke about that. She's been pastoring for 14 years. That's almost half of my life, so that's a long time. And she's doing a great job, and every year it just gets better and better. And a couple other things that we discussed was what called her to the occupation of pastoring. And she began by stating that she'd been saved since the age of she was 19, and everybody's familiar with the story of her salvation. But what was unique was the fact that she said that since she was saved, she just felt a nudging, a yearning, a higher calling from God to pastor. And I felt that was very interesting to know the calling that you have, a special calling in your life from an early age, and I believe 19 is pretty young. And then we started talking about the delicacies and intricacies of the ministry and what she do. And one of the points that she brought out was this idea of being saved versus being born again. And being saved, as we know, is a proclamation of faith. Is your declaration setting you aside, saying, yes, I'm a Christian. But the idea of being born again, which both ideas are in the Bible, the idea of being born again is day-to-day living. It's the state of your being, your mindset every day. That has changed and shifted to a more spiritual state every day. So it's more of a living versus a proclamation and declaration. So I also thought that was very interesting. And we had some fun in the interview. I asked what was the best part of her job, and naturally she said the people. She's been always been a people person. And that is the best part of her job. And I also did a follow-up question, which was, what was the worst part of her job? And she said, people. And I, thought that was also funny. But I can see how that can be difficult because you're working with different attitudes, you're working with different people from all walks of life, and that in itself can be challenging. And it truly do take a special person like Apostle Turner to be able to deal with that with love and a good attitude like she do on so many occasions. I also asked if she can change anything about the ministry, what would she change? And she thought for a second, and she answered that she wouldn't change anything about our ministry per se, but ministry as a whole, the idea of ministry as being a relationship builder and having a relationship versus a religion where you're tasked to do something. I have to do something. And that was very, eye-opening for me that, and we should all have an experience and feel that ministry is a relationship. You have a relationship with God. You have a relationship with your fellow churchgoers and members. So that was very interesting. And close to the end, I asked what was her vision for the next 5 years. And as being members of the church, we all know the vision and share the vision. First, she spoke about pastoring full-time starting in 2013, and 5 years from then would be 2018, And she envisions the church having our own building, which is going to happen real soon, with many buildings, a school, and buildings for outreach shelters. And she spoke about giving back to the community and just really giving back to the fellow churchgoers. That's really important, and it's integral in any faith-based ministry, especially a Christian ministry, is by giving back, and that's definitely one of her visions within the next 5 years. And the last question, and ending, the last question I asked was, and this was the keynote question, was how is communication important? And that also was very important because it's not only how it's important, but how does it work? And really, communication with the ministries is effectiveness. It works by being really effective. And one of the scriptures that she quoted was to condescend to men of low estate, which is Romans 12 and 16. And that, in layman terms, basically says that, you reach people where they are. Yes. People are, at different levels, spiritually, socially, economically. And as being a minister, you communicate to them to where they can receive it so that they can get better, get to that next spot in their life. And communication, she explained, that's the most important part of her job, is being an effective communicator. So again, thank you very much for my classmates and for those who stayed and listened to the speech. Again, my name is Jonathan Jordan, and thank you very much.